A show that tackles the big issues affecting the BVI and the rest of the Caribbean. Searches for answers to today's big questions and gives viewers a unique perspective on developing stories. Follow the big story with me, Kathy Richards, only on JTV. This show is brought to you by the National Bank of the Virgin Islands, Cyril B. Ramney Tertola Pier Park, NV Salon Spa Nail and Barbershop, the Wellness Center, Medical and Behavioral Health Clinics, Ticely Cross Deliciously Smooth Cider, HOV Medical, and Digicel. Sign up for Digicel Plus Home Light Bundles, faster internet, movies, and sports. This is The Big Story. I'm Kathy Richards. I want to thank you so much for joining us for this edition. In studio with me is Director of Culture, Dr. Kathy Smith. Welcome. And to Melissa Potter, my dear friend of the Virgin Islands Communal Association. It's always a pleasure to have you, to hear from you both. This is Culture Month. You guys are center stage. I know, Dr. Smith, you are so passionate about all things culture, and when we get down to the debate about cultures and the discussions about culture, we have a great advocate in Melissa. So this morning we're going to talk a bit about it, about what we're doing, especially this weekend, and to bring us into that. Just recently, the House of Assembly has officially named 10 persons who are our national heroes. Heroes. Yes. So, Melissa, if you could give us a rundown, first of all, about that and their significance to this territory.
Thank you so much, Kathy. And before I start, I just want to say how beautiful you look in that beautiful color. Blessings.
Thank you.
For far too long, Kathy, Virgin Islanders have had to constantly fight for their freedom. And October 16th, we celebrated our third annual National Heroes and Foreparents Day. Our third annual, okay? Hip, hip, hooray to that. Let me give an overview of what happened this year, which we are so excited about. On Wednesday, October 11, 2023, the Cabinet of the Virgin Islands decided that the following 10 persons be recognized as the first historical tier of National Heroes of the Virgin Islands. But something grander happened on Friday the 13th. The House of Assembly officially declared the 10 individuals of blessed memory as national heroes. Those 10 persons were Miss Pirine Georges, Mr. Shelley Martin, Mr. Augustus McCleverty, Mr. Obadiah Dawson, Mr. Henry Garnett, Mr. Theodolph Faulkner, Mr. Glanville Fonseca, Mr. Carlton De Castro, Mr. Honorable for me, Hamilton Lavity Stout, and Mr. Noah Lloyd. The resolution passed in the House of Assembly approved the criteria for the first tier class of national heroes, and the list of persons that I just mentioned recommended to receive the honor of national heroes by the Public Holiday Oversight Committee. Thank God for them. These 10 individuals, by their historic acts and significant contributions, have changed the history of these Virgin Islands for the better. The criteria, which a lot of people are not aware of. The criteria for declaring this first tier of national heroes were: 1. Actions taken by the individual must have provided leadership and or catalyst to a collective historical movement in the Virgin Islands. Key defining moments or events in the life, story, or history of the Virgin Islands for the cause of humanity, universal liberty or freedom, social justice or self-determination. These collective movements and events would have led to a shift or change in the trajectory of the growth and development of the Virgin Islands. Category 2. Actions taken by the individual which must be carried or magnified the voice of the people of the Virgin Islands, so that the individual gave voice to the collective as a historical movement carrying out the will of the people. I want people to understand that. 3. Actions taken by the individual must have demonstrated significant courage in the face of adversity or self-sacrifice, and self-sacrifice. These are the three criteria that allow those 10 persons to be named National Heroes of the Virgin Islands.
Awesome. Yes, thanks for that little bit of background to that. For most of us,
Yes.
we are so familiar with just a few of the names. There are some names that, you know, in family circles, in certain offices, they are quite familiar, but we're so familiar with the Faulkner and the Lavity Stout and the, what's his name? I forget. Noel Lloyd. And there was another one.
Glanville Fonseca
Glanville Fonseca.
and Castro.
But, you know, but
Great
some
match.
of those names are not so resounding in the community, but their worth, their significance are well registered, and with that, putting them there as our national hero gives light to them all. We are about to celebrate them even bigger, Dr. Kathy.
Yes. I wanted to thank you, first of all, for giving us the opportunity to be on your show this morning. Thank you so much. I know it was, you know, some juggling that you had to do. I also wanted to mention that both myself and Melissa Potter, as president of VICA, are on the Public Oversight Committee for the public holidays. But we also work together during Culture and Tourism Month. So in this case, we knew that we absolutely had to do something. Actually, as the organizers of Culture and Tourism Month generally, we knew that we had to do something to honor the national heroes. But you're right, not a lot of people know details or the full story of all of the 10 national heroes. And by the time that the committee is finished with the job, I think that everyone will.
All right. Now
Yes.
I'll steal
Yes.
Melissa's.
But I want to take this opportunity, Kathy, to say a bit. You know, we have Parsons Georges, right? The only woman on the list. And what a woman. What a courageous, brave woman. Her testimony, and there's so much more to her, but her testimony was the testimony that actually had Arthur Hodge, the only white planter on legal record in the Caribbean as far as we've found, hung for the murder of an enslaved person. So when we look at someone like Parsons Georges, she affected the world, the region, the world. There's a message that was sent, a message of the humanity of the lives of enslaved persons. I want to say to you that she could have died. Freedom was something that was tenuous at this time. She stepped up, she gave that testimony. It's rather detailed. She did so many other things. We'll find more out about her. She was a free woman of mixed heritage. She lived on Main Street. So, you know, the other thing I'd like to say about that it was so important because Arthur Hodge murdered Prosper. I think a lot of people might know that the story of the one enslaved male. But there were at least 100 people on his plantation who died through gruesome means. So this is a bigger story, right? And something major. And so she certainly fit the category of the fight for freedom and universal liberty for humanity. So we'll soon be knowing a lot more about her. But I think that persons might know about the second person, Shelley Martin, even less, and that is a shame, and it's very important that we shed light on him. Yeah. Yes, Shelley Martin was an enslaved male on Anderson's plantation in the Bruce Bay area. Now, he wasn't any ordinary person. He owned property. And when it came to the slave trials, it was found out that he was widely respected. Widely respected. In fact, he had been chosen by the collective, the enslaved population, as their leader. Not just the leader of the revolution that was to come in 1831, where he would be captain of the troops, but the leader for when the country became a free black state, a free state, with the goal of universal liberty for all. And he would have been the leader of the country, and he had been designated Uncle Shelley Martin.
Oh,
yes,
okay.
Yes.
His descendants are the Martins of East End?
Yes.
No, well, possibly, but Don Martin.
Don
His
Martin.
brothers, Bruce Bay, they have a lot of
Yes.
property over there called
Yes,
Martin
yes.
Bruce Bay.
Oh,
So it's
I didn't know it
from
was
that
called
end.
the
Yeah.
Martins Bruce Bay. Oh, yes, Don. Yes. Yeah, the author.
Yes,
yeah,
my good
they had
friend,
him here
yes,
on the
my first
set.
one.
Oh.
George Martin had a plantation in Bruce Bay as well. So when the conch shell blew, everything started. It was an involved plan. Actually, it had started months before and died down. And then just it happened in the Haitian Revolution, the only successful revolution in the Caribbean. News came that more rights came to the persons of mixed descent. And just as happened in the Haitian Revolution, our ancestors said, but what about us? Black people, what about us? Enslaved people. And it started. News traveled, the organization started, the conch shell blew, the men were to go to town, they had a key word they were going to say, the women stay in the country, burn everything. And this was all because they thought, as had happened many times in the Caribbean, this had happened before, that freedom had come and was being withheld. Persons' troops were to be stationed at strategic positions, a major revolutionary conspiracy, a major one. It was betrayed, and they did stand trial, but the fact that this is a revolution, it's rare in the Caribbean. You know, there were rebellions against specific conditions. I don't like the overseer, the attorney, whoever, the planter, the manager. We want more food. But this was one of those ones that was revolutionary, 365 degrees. We're not going to be enslaved anymore. We're going to take our freedom and declare universal liberty for all.
Awesome.
So that's important.
Oh,
Yeah, yes.
I could listen to this all day just to understand, and it gives you
Yes.
more appreciation for where we are as a territory, for the peoples of this territory as well. You were about to say,
Yes, if Kathy doesn't mind, I'd just like to put a plug in there. We did work on a video. We pulled the video together, and I enjoyed pulling the video together with a theatric flair so that people could get a clearer understanding, just like what you're saying, of who they were and what they did that made them our national heroes. I particularly like, though, where we were able to get the contributions and reflections of the surviving relatives, like Don Martin and others, of those long gone national heroes, so that we didn't get everyone, but we got a few of them and their contributions at that day, and that was on the Friday where where they declared the national heroes in the House of Assembly. Yeah. I pulled them out and they went before the camera, and we put a video together, and that's hopefully that will go viral after this. And it was awesome, and it brings out in detail, just like what Kathy is saying, the story about these national heroes. And more though, I realized that people are now asking the question, who are these people? More about them. So I'm glad we have this opportunity to share these things so that people can know more is coming. And there's a book. I think there's a book. What is it called again? By Bernardine Louis.
Oh, the 1949 Great March. The 1949 March and Restoration of the Legislative Council.
And that has a lot of...
Yes, Bernardine Louis and Gabrielle Skelton wrote that book.
And that
has a lot of pertinent information, especially for the school children. So that is additional.
And there's an activity book for that as well.
Yes.
I just wanted to talk about the cattle tax riot. St. Croix, other islands have something similar. St. Croix calls it fire burn. So this is when Roetown was burned because I believe the cattle tax had been doubled. Now, I want to explain that we were land rich and cash poor at this time, the now ex-slaves, 1853. For the cattle tax to have been doubled, you know, the United States had a revolution about a tax, right? So persons who had just been, planters had to pay tax upon them as they had been defined as property, now have to pay tax and double that tax for one of the items for one of the things, livestock, that kept them afloat, where they got that cash, you know, the trade with St. Thomas and further afield back and forth. So, you know, so many things happened. They tried to negotiate. You know, they came to town, they refused to pay the tax, they came to pay the older tax. They retreated, they came back, there was a scuffle, someone was killed, and events began, right? And Roetown was burned. Now, persons might think of town as we know it, the historical town now in the 1950s, but this was the merchant town, the one where planters lived. With their plantations and the plantation works, and we probably would have had some thatch homes, maybe some wooden homes there. So those are the homes that were burned.
Where was that?
Right,
Main Street.
Main Street.
I think closer to the governor's house.
Main Street, all along Main Street, and even some homes in the country. some of the homes in the country. I think I remember reading Arundel Estate as well.
Okay.
So this was a major, major event, and on that occasion, some of our ancestors were executed. They lost their lives. They had burned homes. Now, no one died. No one died during the cattle tax riot, but just the
Events
burning
that
of the homes. Right. Some of our ancestors, but they were acting out of a cause for social justice, for even universal liberty, because how would they have survived that tax, right? And then so much more comes into it. You just became free. What did you expect? Were your expectations met? They were not met, even all across the Caribbean. And those were Augustus McCleverty, Obadiah Dawson, and Henry Garnett, and we would begin to know more about those persons.
So awesome. But we're going to be celebrating them in a different way.
Yes.
We want to say thanks to you.
Yeah.
Though your souls are resting peacefully, we want to say thanks for you. And so there's going to be a big splash this weekend. Amidst everything this is happening, this one stands out.
Yes.
We do view this as special because this is about the national heroes. So this Saturday at 7 p.m., we just want to invite everyone for Culture and Tourism Month to the Eileene Parsons Auditorium at HLSCC this Saturday at 7. We have an evening of performance in honor of our national heroes, which of course include the Great March and Restoration, those, and also Mr. Noah Lloyd the Great and the great Hamilton Laverty Stout. The evening is going to be fantastic. We have so many people in the area of the performing arts involved here. Everyone has been working together to put this on. It's going to be an evening, and entrance is free.
Okay.
Free entry.
I like that.
Don't take them out of pocket, right? Just come out and enjoy this.
Come out and celebrate, enjoy, honor, learn about. So we have Janice George Harris. She's actually spearheading. She's a theater practitioner. I think most persons would know about Mrs. Harris. We have persons working with her like Errol Percival, otherwise known as Darikiru Maximilian, the poet. Okay. We have also Sylvana Charles. We have heritage dancers on board. We have Adagio Dance School. We have our students. We have the Brigado Flex Educational Center, their theater arts class. We have the Elmore Stout High School, their theater arts class involved. Via Donovan Hodge is going to be a part of. We have a bit of visual art in there. That's going to be a surprise.
Exciting.
Yes, a surprise, very much a surprise. So you see there are talented individuals. Rochelle Smith is involved. So everyone, please come out and hear the story. The title, Remember My Name. Remember My Name.
Remember My Name.
This
and I'll
Saturday.
make it my duty to remember the names that I don't remember
That's
right
right.
now.
Those 10 national heroes.
Yes. But coinciding with all of this, Melissa Vico, I know you always put your feet to the plow to make sure that something happens via your organization, the organization that you are part of. What's happening this year?
Well, Kathy, as you know, the Virgin Islands Communal Association, VICA, was formed to promote and facilitate the preservation of our native traditions, heritage, customs, history, and social identity through cultural and educational-based activities. This is why this year, VICA feels compelled, put my hand here to my heart, feels compelled to pay tribute to the 1949 Great March heroes on the upcoming 27th of November holiday.
Okay.
Come on out.
Okay.
As opposed to our regular Sankey Sing Out, storytelling and bonfire extravaganza. We will have a little twist of certain things in there, like Kathy said earlier. Everything could be a surprise.
Okay.
So it's called the Vica's Cultural Mix, a memorial and tribute celebration in honor of our 1949 national heroes. Our national heroes should remain on the forefront of people's minds for the rest of the year and beyond. Their extraordinary bravery paved the way for all of us here in the Virgin Islands, living or for wherever, and those who come from time to time It paved the way. Had it not been for them, along with many others, we would not be here enjoying the blessings or the fruit of their labor. I thank God for his added grace and mercy.
Awesome.
And hence our success is today that we can be here on modern TV having a chat in a modern form because of what they have done to pave the way for us.
Yes.
I'm grateful.
All right. And that's the importance of us as a people to make sure that our past is not forgotten. Those who would have done it for us are celebrated and celebrated well. And so I thank you for all the organizations that you are a part of, the Department of Culture, VICA, and the many others that you guys are in otherwise for making sure that this stands out. So remember, it's this weekend. We have that big celebration that is free of cost. The Lafferty South Community College, and you would have heard from Dr. Smith, Kathy Smith, because sometimes when we say Dr. Smith, we get mixed up with her daddy. Yes,
and then there's Dr. Angel.
And Angel, all right, so many Dr. Smiths around, and Dr. Eileene. Yes, so many. Yeah, so she has laid it out what the program is going to be like. You can go on various social media pages and you see the flyer, and the event is so free and it's going to be a blast. I know that you want things to sit back, enjoy, laugh, reminisce and all of that. So I think that I did a good plug there as to what it's going to be like. Dr. Kathy Smith, Melissa Potter, thank you so much for stopping by. You're always welcome on this set, and I want to thank you for joining us for this edition of The Big Story. I'm Kathy Richards.
We know that where you choose to bank matters, and it is your vote on what your funds do in strengthening our community. As your official Bank of Paradise, we invest and support the lifeblood of our economy by helping in the realization of personal goals for homeownership, education, and entrepreneurial visions, which support small businesses. We make it our place to connect with persons and worthy causes, and we have been doing so for more than 30 years. Where your money goes and what your dollars empower are your choice. And we thank you for choosing us, a bank that gives where it matters the most, for you, for our community, and a happier tomorrow. The National Bank of the Virgin Islands.
Everyone looks to the future, but no one truly knows what the future holds.
The number of people under the age of 20 with type 2 diabetes could increase by 49% by 2050. Let it be known that we all have a 30% chance of developing hypertension.
Globally, more than 300 million people of all ages suffer from depression.
More than 60,000 young adults aged 20 to 39 are diagnosed with cancer each year. Obesity leads to problems such as stroke, heart disease, and kidney failure.
No matter your race, age, or color, we are all at risk.
These diseases can be managed or prevented if caught early.
But with the right medicine and the right doctors to keep us on a path to live a robust and healthy life,
we will live well.
Plug into Digicel Plus and get even more entertainment with Disney Plus included. The best of Disney, Pixar, Marvel, Star Wars, and National Geographic all in one place. Whenever you want, plug into Plus to enjoy Disney Plus and much more with a home fiber bundle. Sign up today. Digicel Plus.